Hello, everybody. Hello, Lori. Hello, Summer. Did you just hallucinate? Is that what you said? Yeah, I'm going to go through it. I'm just waiting for some more people to get in here, and then I'm going to go over this. Okay, so I just got a notification. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Karen. Oh, I'm feeling so. I went back to the doctor's for another checkup to see how things were progressing, and he gave me crap and told me I'm not resting enough. And with allergy season rearing its ugly head, that's just making things worse. Okay, so I'm going to go over this for you guys. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to, if you guys can just let somebody, if people know that come in, that I'm not being able to see chat because I haven't been able to figure out this OBS yet. Whoops. So once I get OBS figured out, then I can have my chat right beside this and it would stream a lot better. Okay. So we're going to go over this. Okay, so Chad Daybell's defense attorney has filed a motion asking a judge to dismiss his client's entire case. John Pryor filed the motion to dismiss with District Judge Stephen Boyce Thursday, stating there was not sufficient evidence presented at the preliminary hearing on August 3rd and 4th. Okay, and I'm just finding this out now, just like you guys are. I haven't read through this yet, okay? Daybell pleaded not guilty last month to 4 felony counts of conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, concealment of evidence, and 2 felony counts of destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence. At the preliminary hearing, Magistrate Judge Farron Edens determined that Special Prosecutor Rob Wood presented enough evidence to have the case advanced to district court. Okay? And then there is, I will put a link to this release in the description below once I'm done here. But there's also a spot here where you guys can view the timeline of events, okay? The charges are not supported. Okay, so this is what John Pryor is saying. The charges are not supported by the evidence and duplicative as allegations against the defendant, Pryor wrote in the motion to dismiss. So he's filed a motion to dismiss. Further, the prosecution has yet to present evidence to support when the alleged act is supposedly to have taken place and if the defendant acted in any manner to support the allegations. Okay, Pryor claims the accusations against Daybell made in the criminal complaint filed by Wood are vague and broad. Pryor says that Daybell's constitutional rights are being violated because he cannot be fairly notified and apprised of when, how, and what he is accused of doing. Here we go. Here's another Letitia. My constitutional rights are being violated. What about these dead children's rights? Let's go on. Okay, and then there's a link here where you can read the criminal complaint where Chad was charged. So, along with the motion, Pryor asked that a transcript of the preliminary hearing be produced and that a hearing to dismiss the charges be pushed out long enough for him to review the evidence and the transcript. Okay, so we all know that this has already been slated for the beginning of January to start trial. So now he's filed this motion to dismiss, and he's asking that it's pushed out long enough for him to review the evidence. So do you remember what I said to you guys, that Lori's trying to push hers further so she can see what happens in Chad's first before she decides what she's going to do in hers? Well, now I think with this, Chad's trying to flip the tables on that, and he's trying to have Lori's heard before his. And I think this is going to go back and forth for a while. Now, see, this is something I mentioned when we seen that Lori skipped her preliminary hearing and wanted to go straight to arraignment. And now she's even pushed off her arraignment hearing. She was supposed to be arraigned last week. She pushed that off until September. Okay? So Lori's trying to keep prolonging things so Chad's case is dealt with first before hers, so they have more information as to what's going to be coming out. But now, finally, John Pryor has caught on to that little bit of fandangling by Lori Vallow's team. So now John Pryor is filing motions to dismiss, which is probably going to affect that trial date, which is probably going to push it further down the line, because now this hearing for a motion to dismiss is going to have to happen, and he wants all kinds of time now to review the evidence in the transcripts from the preliminary, which could take months. So you see what's going on here? Each one of them are trying to push their case further than the other one so they can see what happens in each other's case before they do theirs. That's what I see happening, okay? Okay, so on June 9th, police arrested Daybell after the remains of Joshua J.J. Ballo, 7, and Tylee Ryan, 16, were found on his property. Daybell married the children's mother, Lori Ballo, in November, 2 months after investigators say they were last seen. Lori Daybell is also charged in Fremont County with 2 felony counts of conspiracy to commit destruction, alteration, and concealment of evidence. She's scheduled to be arraigned September 10th. Okay? So she's going to plead guilty or not guilty as of September 10th. But we may see that pushed again now because of this motion that John Pryor has made. Okay? Chad Daybell's jury trial is set to run from January 11th to 29th in Fremont County before Boyce. Pryor has until October 20th to file a motion if he wants to move the trial to another venue to avoid potential jury bias. Wood has not responded to Pryor's motion, and as of Tuesday, which is today, a hearing has not been set on the motion to dismiss. So do you guys see what I am talking about now? When Lori Daybell pushed her, vacated her preliminary hearing and set a date to be arraigned. That date was last week. She then had that pushed till September 10th. Okay, and now John Pryor has filed a motion to dismiss. You know what I mean? So this fight is going to go back and forth. They're each going to try, from what I see, and in my opinion, which I stated a while back, is Lori was trying to put her trial so far that Chad's happened first so they could see all the evidence that was going to be coming out. So now Chad's lawyer has caught on to that shenanigan, and now he's trying to do the same thing, I believe. Lori Miller says, how many times can they pull this card? Lori, I don't know. I'm not very familiar with U.S. law. I'm just trying to get the picture back here. There we go. So, yes, I'm not that familiar with U.S. law with stuff like this because that is so much different than here in Canada. But once you, here in Canada, once you set a trial date, unless something comes to light that absolutely proves the defendant's innocence, the trial goes ahead. I mean, things can be put forth for motion hearings for certain things, but I'm not sure how that works in the US. But it just seems to me, see, here in Canada, um, if you and your lawyers, if you're the defendant and you and your lawyers keep putting off your trial or preliminary or whatever, you can't fall back on not having a speedy trial, because it's you and your lawyer that's putting it off, because you're entitled here in Canada too to a speedy trial. So now, if this was in Canada, if this was the we call them crown attorneys here, if the crown attorneys kept putting it off, then they could have a motion to dismiss because they're not getting a fair and speedy trial. But in both cases, I know in the US and Canada, if you continue to try and put your case off, then you can't go back and say, now we want to dismiss because we didn't get a fair and speedy trial. That's okay, Dee. We just went over the news regarding a motion that John Pryor has filed to dismiss Chad's case. So I wanted to go live and get this out to you guys. Yes, Crystal Dawn, I agree. Probable cause is not a very hard hurdle to jump, okay? What the hurdle is proving in a trial that those probable causes were valid. And all that evidence, like, we only seen a tiny bit of the DA's evidence regarding the probable cause, okay? When they did the probable cause for his arrest, there is a judge that said, yes, there's more than enough here to arrest him, okay? And now was there not only enough there to arrest him for these charges, he went to a preliminary hearing where another judge said there's more than enough probable cause to go to trial. So he has, with this, not enough evidence, and he wants a dismissal for two separate judges to give the okay on probable cause. I don't think he's going to win this one, but I think it's a stall tactic on the defense's part, because I think John Pryor has caught on to what Lori Vallow, and I said this long before Chad's preliminary was done, that this was going to happen. I seen that Lori was trying to stall hers, so her and her lawyers could see what evidence the DA has before they made any indications as to which way they wanted to go for Lori's trial. And then finally, John Pryor went, hey, what's going on? Did he watch my video maybe? I know that's not true, but I had to throw that in there. But I mean, this is this is what happens when lawyers are in high profile cases and they get tunnel vision on certain aspects. They're not looking at those tiny little things that mean so much to their case. They kind of get like a tunnel vision. And I mean, I see how it happens, because the lawyer is more concerned about all these major things. They're not looking at the little things, but those little things that they are not paying attention to sometimes cause the most harm. And this is one of them. When I had mentioned a few weeks back that I see Lori wanting Chad's case to go through first, so they can see, because her lawyer's not too, like, you compare lawyer, oh, here we go again with the tongue twister. Lori's lawyer's credentials compared to John Pryor. John Pryor, he lives and breathes criminal law. Lori's lawyer, Meads, I think his name is, really, this is his first real big criminal trial, and he's taken on a doozy for his first criminal trial of this magnitude. So, and this is why I think that it was smart the way Oh my God. Don't you guys laugh at me. Lori and her lawyer, I think it was very smart what they're doing with prolonging them getting to the point where they have to set a trial date because they want to see what Chad's going to do and what's going to come out in Chad's trial first. So they can have that information because her lawyer needs all the help that he can get. Summer, I got to give kudos to John Pryor. He knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. He's a good lawyer. We can't dispute that. We may not like how he is going to handle this case, but don't forget, he's been hired to win. And lawyers, whether they like the case, they agree with, like even with the horrible, horrendous things that Chad has been involved in, he has to defend him to the best of his ability. Okay? And John Pryor does not like losing a case. Okay? So you got to give him credit where credit is due. I'm not so sure that this is something that he likes defending, but he likes winning even more. Okay? So let's have that be said. Okay, so Summer, that's to answer your question. I don't believe I don't believe John Pryor is a sneaky rat. I believe John Pryor is very good at criminal law and knows what he's got to do to win this case. And I think this is about him winning the case, not about winning particularly for Chad for these charges. Okay? Because regardless of how he feels about the charges that Chad is facing, he has to defend him to his best ability. Okay? Let's keep that in mind. And I'm in no way defending Chad at all. But it's not fair to jump on a lawyer, especially a lawyer of John Pryor's caliber. Okay? He has to defend this doofus, as somebody just said, doofus, the word doofus. John Pryor has to defend Chad to the best of his ability. He's sworn to do that. Okay? That's right, Pink Panther. He gets paid to win. He gets paid to do his job and to defend to the best of his ability, whether he agrees with the charges or not. I mean, I'm sure that this case is making him sick to his stomach, but he still has to defend to the best of his ability, knowledge, and he's one of the top-notch lawyers, okay? And even though we do not like what he's having to defend, he has a sworn oath to defend, okay? Hi, hon. Dan 340 Duster says files to have case dismissed. No, he's filed a motion to have Chad Daybell's case dismissed, saying that there's not enough proof that he had anything to do with this. Hello, opinionated Oma. Crystal Dawn says Lori's lawyer and Chad's lawyer are on the same team. Absolutely not. They are fighting the same charges against the same individuals, but John Pryor's job is to get Chad off. And if that means throwing Lori under the bus, he will do it. They're not on the same team. They're each working individually for their client. They cannot be on the same team. Okay? And I think these lawyers know that that's not going to work. They are there to defend their client by whatever means they have to. And if that means one lawyer throwing lawyer's client under the bus, that's what needs to happen, and that's what they will do. Is it right? I mean, it goes back to what I just said, is the lawyer has an oath that he swore to defend his client to the best of his ability and to defend him against any charges that have been brought against him. So that's why I'm saying John Pryor right now, his only concern, he doesn't give a crap about Lori. His focus is to get Chad off these charges and to defend him. So yes, there could be, you know, maybe early on they talked. Who knows? You know, there's things that we aren't going to know that we're not privy to. Okay. Missy Richmond says, and Lori's lawyer will throw Chad under the bus. Both will throw Alex under the bus. Absolutely. I agree 100%, Missy. Right. And Missy also states, in order to get Chad Daybell off, they will have to throw Lori under the bus. Absolutely. It's going to go both ways. Hi, Suze. Nice to see you here. So they're going to end up trying to throw each other under the bus. And that's why Lori's been putting off her arraignment and forewent her pretrial and this and that, because they don't want to help each other's team. Okay. So that tells you a lot right there. Katie Higgins wants to know, do you think they will get it dismissed? Absolutely not. I think John Pryor is pulling at straws. We don't know what, you know, he's going to bring up in this motion. He said just enough in the motion to fight his reasoning for the motion itself. Those facts will be disputed within that motion hearing. Yes, DJ, absolutely right, and I totally agree. I don't think it's going to be dismissed. This is from DJ. I don't think it's going to be dismissed. I think it's a play to postpone, like you said. It's a smart move, really. Yes, it is. Chad's lawyer isn't stupid. Yes, he's paid to win, and he's sworn to defend. Absolutely. But like I just had mentioned, that John Pryor had got tunnel vision when it came to the major things in this case, that he hadn't been watching those little things. And that's why I threw in that little giggle. Did you watch my video when I said Lori's trying to postpone so they can see what happens in Chad's trial before they go to trial? It was, I mean, somebody somewhere has caught on to this and has brought it to his attention. So I think now it's going to be back and forth, that they're going to keep both trying to postpone to get the other one's trial done so they can get that information that's going to come out of that trial. Yes, High Priestess. 2 dead bodies on his property and he wants his case dismissed. Right, yeah. Hello, DDD. High Priestess says, sure, let them have more time to gather more evidence. I think that they have all the evidence they need regarding these particular charges. And I think the Crown attorneys and whatnot, the investigators are all waiting for these trials. So when these, don't forget, when these trials finally happen, okay, when they plead to these charges, okay, about the bodies being buried and the conspiracy to commit whatever, okay? Sorry, guys, this is my throat. What the Crown, what the DA and what the investigators are waiting for are these trials to be completed on the charges that stand right now. Because once these trials are done, Chad and Lori are both locked in to what they said in each of their trials. Okay, so you watch, mark my words, Once these trials on the charges that they're facing right now, once these trials are done and a verdict is in on these trials, I guarantee you very shortly afterwards, they're going to be nailed with the murder charges. But I think what the DA and the investigators are trying to do is gather more information to lay those murder charges, and that information is going to actually come out of these trials. My opinion. Yes, I've heard that, DJ, that Idaho law does not allow insanities to be a plea. DDD, I am not showing you my face right now. I am sick as a dog. My hair is actually up in some kind of freaky bun that doesn't look like it makes any sense. I am full of Vicks Vapor Rub. I got a vaporizer beside me here. No, I would never do that to you guys to show you this mug right now. But thank you for that, DDD. Oh, thank you, Katie. Like Christine McGee says, I'm wondering if Chad is going to be charged with Tammy's death. I don't know. I think they may be waiting for these trials to be over, the ones that they're facing right now. Okay, another thing, since I'm on the live, I posted earlier, if you guys haven't seen it, in my community tab regarding these human remains that were found near Aurora in Colorado. I'm very concerned, okay? And I have some notes because I've worked in the legal field for so long, there's certain things that I do know, okay? I can guarantee you back on August 27th, when they found these bones, these skeletal remains at this disc golf course, okay, number one, they're going to call in the coroner, who's going to call in somebody from forensic anthropology, okay? I'm going to state that. Now, with that being said, are you guys cool with discussing this regarding these human remains that were found near Aurora in Colorado? I'm watching my chat to see if you guys want to hear about this and my thoughts on it. Yes? Missy, skeleton remains are never too skeletonized to be, and I'm going to get into that if you guys want to hear about it. Yes, Suze, there's nothing worse than being on camera when you're unwell, especially looking like what I look like right now, with the Vicks plastered right up my neck and the vaporizer going in my hair and some kind of freaky bun-like thing just to keep it out of the Vicks that's plastered. I won't go into it, guys. It's a horror story. I would never do that to you guys. DJ, sure. I will allow you to send me an email regarding that. Again, you guys, I'm sorry for the coughing. Okay, so everybody wants to hear about this. Okay. Like I said, being in the legal field for as long as I have been, there's certain things that I do know about. Okay. I've sat through many trials regarding human remains. So I'm going to say the first thing that's happened when they found these human remains, the police went there and yep, they look like, that's what the police are going to say because they're not experts. We have bones, is what they're going to say. The first call is going to be to a coroner. Okay. And they're going to want a somebody from forensic anthropology there, okay? Now, what that person is going to do is, I can guarantee you, just a forensic anthropologist looking at these bones will be able to tell you, depending on how much bone is there, and they don't need a whole lot, okay? They can tell the difference between animal and human bones, okay? There's density, there's sciatic notching. There's all kinds of things that they go by. I don't know if you guys will understand that, but you can look it up, okay? Oh, thank you, Missy. Okay, so with that, where was I? See, here we go. Look at butterflies. Okay. Also, okay, if they're children's bones, and I'm going to go over this, and I'm going to try not to be gory, okay? If they are children's bones, it's very hard to tell the sex when they're very young, okay? Because your bones don't stop growing until you're like 30, okay? Like I said, you guys can investigate this, look it up, Google it. This is what I know about, a little bit about it. Like I said, I think a couple months ago, I did want to go into forensics, but no, got too gory for me, couldn't do it. But I did learn some stuff, okay? Now, so the first thing that this forensic anthropologist is going to do is look at the bones, and they're going to determine very quickly whether they're animal or human. And from what I've heard about this, there was quite a few bones that were found, okay? So with the bones that were found, and I can't see, okay, this is what I'm going to do because you guys don't want to see Chad's ugly face. So I'm going to do this, okay? Chad's ugly face. Okay, back to the bones. Oh, God, I'm sorry, you guys. Kind of delirious. I'm on some antihistamines, too, that make me kind of woozy, but it's funnier than hell. Anyway, so back to the bones. The forensic anthropology, okay, is going to be able to say very quickly, I would say within an hour, that yes, very quickly, even quicker than that, yes, they're human or they're animal, okay? Within, I'd say, an hour or so, depending on what bones they find, they're going to be able to tell you if it's male or female, okay? There is so many differences regarding human bones, even between adult male and adult female. There's the thickness, okay? If you have a pelvic bone, if you have a pubic bone, if you have a sciatic notch, the sciatic notching has a lot to do and shows you very different things in male and female. The structure of the bone, okay? Also, the fusing, okay, will give you some kind of age, okay? Because your bones almost come to fuse at certain points at different stages of life and give a very accurate age, okay? So the two main differences for determining sex in human remains, okay, are pelvis and skull, okay? Those are the two main. If you have a pelvis and you have a skull, you can tell sex of an adult human very quick, within a day, okay? With children, it's a little harder, okay, when they're very young because the differences aren't so obvious, okay? But they can tell you that it's a child and about how old that child is by their bones, by any bones that are there. But unless certain parts of the bones are there, it's not as much evident in children and as quick in children as it is adults, is what I'm trying to get to. Okay, because I could go on like for hours regarding the differences. Okay, so with all that being said, I'm kind of like, what's going on? Why hasn't there been anything released as to at least the sex of these human remains that have been found? Okay, and I think, where am I? I think I'm a little bit behind in chat, but I'm not much behind. Okay. So my concern is just that. Why is it taking so long? Okay, Dee. Why is it taking so long for them to even say, hey, you know, yes, these human remains were found. They are human remains. They were found, you know, August 27th. And yes, they're male or female. Why can't they give us that? Okay. And if you go back and you look at certain other cases, you will see where they have come out and said, yes, human remains have been found. You know, the next day or the day after, they say, yes, they were adult human remains and they look to be female or they look to be male. Okay. This is quite a bit ago. Okay. Like 5 days have passed and there's nothing that has been released regarding. Within 5 days, they would have known, number one, if it was an adult or child, if it was, sorry, animal or human, number one. They would have known that the first day. They would have known the first day if it was an adult or child bones. Okay, if on the first day they said, okay, these are human remains, they're not animal, they're human. Okay. That same day, they would be able to tell you whether they were adult remains or children's remains. Now, if they were children's remains, the sex may take a little longer to determine. But if they were adult human remains, depending on which bones were found, even if there was femurs or whatever, there's still things in bones that you can tell the difference sexually wise of the sex of the bones. So I would say within 2 days, they would know if they were adult human bones and what the sex of those bones are within 2 days, 2-3 days tops. So it's been 5 days. So I'm wondering, why hasn't there been nothing released regarding these bones? And that's why in my post I said, is this something big? They're keeping hush hush about these bones for a reason. Why? That's what my concern is. What do you guys think? Yes, Missy, I agree. And what I'm going to tell you guys is I'm going to have to shut off my phone here because it's giving me some feedback. What's concerning to me regarding this is how hush-hush they've been about the Suzanne Morphew case to begin with. And now that these bones have been found, hey, I may be wrong. They may have nothing to do with Suzanne. But I'm going by prior incidences of the same caliber where human remains have been found. Usually within a couple days. Welcome home, Dee. Usually within a couple days, you hear, okay, you know, the forensics has said this is an adult human and it looks to be male, looks to be female, whatever. Usually within a couple days. It's been 5 days. And I guarantee you, because of how big the Suzanne Morphew case is, that would have been the first thing that they were looking for when and if it was discovered to be human adult remains. The first thing that they would do after that is see what testing they could do to see if it was her. I guarantee you. So, getting back to what I was saying, if you go back and do this, you guys, go into Google, where it says human remains found, bones found, and then follow that news source to see how fast it was released, whether they were human adult remains and the sex of those human remains. See how fast that was released, and then take a look at this. Because I'm saying within 2 days of those bones being found, they would know if they were animal or human. If they were human, they would have known adult or children, and they would have known the sex of those bones. And depending on how much bone was there, they could even get right down to the age and everything, depending on how the bones were. Now, there's been things, yes, I've heard a lot of rumors. There's so many rumors, Missy. I don't deal with rumors, okay? Now, somebody else was saying that the bones were, the remains were too decomposed to be Suzanne. That's not true. We don't know what he did to Suzanne's body. He could have tried to burn her and it didn't work. So then he could have put her into limestone, acid. He could have done anything to her body before putting it where she is. Okay? We don't know what he's done to her body. We don't even know exactly what date it was. He could have done this on the 9th, for all we know. Okay? That phone call on the 9th that abruptly ended, was that on the 9th, that phone call? I don't remember. Whenever that, not phone call, sorry, I'm going to correct myself before you guys jump on me. The text messaging that Suzanne was doing with her friend, when that abruptly ended, that could have been her time of death right there. It didn't have to be the next day. We don't know this. This is not known yet. Okay? So, if it did happen that night when that text messaging on the 9th abruptly stopped, he had all night of the 9th, all day of the 10th, up into when those phone calls started coming in from the daughters. Okay, so he had a good 12 to 15 hours, 16 hours to do something to her body, with nobody even being made aware yet that she wasn't answering her phone. He had 60, at least minimum 15 to 16 clear hours to do whatever he needed to do to her body. Let that sink in, guys. Yes, they're saying she went missing on Mother's Day. No, she was reported missing on Mother's Day. It has not been proven yet what day she went missing. The last known contact that Suzanne had with anybody was on the 9th in those text messages to her friend that abruptly ended. Okay? So if you go by that, when those texts abruptly ended, he had a good 15 to 16 hours before she was reported missing to do something to her body, to move her, to do something, to move, to do the act of however he offed her. And I'm sorry, I'm going to put this bluntly. He had 16 hours before she was reported missing, minimum of 16 hours, maybe more, before anybody was even suspicious about her not being there. So he had 15, 16 clear hours to kill her, do something with her body. He could have tried to burn her. He could have put acid on her. He could have done numerous things to her body. And we don't even know where these things could have been done, because he had 15, 16 hours before anybody even thought there was anything wrong. So nobody would have been watching him or thinking anything he was doing in them 15, 16 hours was out of cue, because nobody knew anything during those 15, 16 hours that anything was wrong yet. Think about that. Let that sink in. And this is things that I've been holding in my back pocket that I have not seen addressed yet by anybody. Not profiling evil. Nobody has. Come on, you guys. That between that call abruptly ending on the 9th, or not the call, sorry, the text messaging, he had 15 to 16 clear hours to do whatever he wanted to do with Suzanne. Nobody has addressed that yet. Okay, I'm just looking into the comments here. So maybe the sheriff saw. Darren G just said the sheriff corrected himself. So the sheriff must be onto it. But I haven't heard any other channel that's really covering this hard say, hey, come on. What about those 15 to 16 hours that Barry had alone with his wife when those text messages abruptly ended on the 9th? He had a minimum of 15 to 16 hours to do whatever he wanted to do with Suzanne. To kill her, to try and dismember, burn, whatever he did to her, okay? And to hide her somewhere before anybody even knew that something was wrong. He had a clear 15 to 16 hour period. It hasn't been mentioned I've been watching Profiling Evil to see them talk about that, but it hasn't been brought out. I don't know why. Yes, Kitty, we did cover the Daybell, and I did ask you guys if you wanted to hit on this Suzanne Morphew thing, because I'm having a problem with these bones being found and them no new news released on them, and I already discussed why. Missy, you're absolutely right. I think he did. He's not acting like a man who's scared to be caught. He knows. That's why he's not taking these lie detector and voice analyst tests. He knows what he's done, but he also knows in his own mind that he has done enough that it's going to be very hard for anybody to find her. Don't forget, he had 15 to 16 hours to do. He could have went 8 hours away for all we know. He could have done so much. He could have done so much to her body between the time those texts ended and the time that he said he left to go to Denver. Those things could have been, her body could have been in such bad shape at that point that he could have had her in a suitcase. What was left of her? We don't know. And why did he get a motel? Got a motel to clean himself up. He didn't want to go back home right away. He needed a place to go where he could clean up. Okay? Yes, Andy Mormon, Suzanne's brother. God bless his soul. I hope. I think they're going to have a hard time though, guys, and it's sickening to me. I'm very worried. I'm very worried about that 15 to 16 hour span that nobody knew that anything was even wrong. The 15 to 16 hour time span that Barry had to move as freely as he wanted, that he wasn't being watched. Nothing. Nothing. Okay? I'm very concerned. No, he didn't want nothing, the voice, because you know why I'm going to tell you, Corinne and everybody, you know why he didn't want his voice recorded? Because the police could have used that in a voice analyst. The same as being on camera. They could have used that. He did not want his voice being recorded because when Lauren was asking him these questions about Suzanne, and he's answering these questions, and he's saying certain comments, they could use that for voice analysts. That's why Lauren wanted this interview, wanted to get him at least audio, because they could have used voice analysts on his answers to her questions regarding Suzanne. He's not stupid. This is well thought through for him. Okay, there's okay, I gotta go back on my live feed here, because there's some that are being held for review. So, okay, I allowed it. Breege Green, I allowed your comment. I don't usually like swearing in here, but I allowed it. Okay, on P, the map has pink lines. They have not said what they are. In fact, they said to me they haven't released yet. Interesting, eh? I think PE is getting a lot of their information through Andy, because Andy, and I got to agree with him. Enough's enough. This is his sister that has gone missing. This is their loved one. They've sat back since May and shut their mouths at the request of law enforcement. Okay? How long is that okay for a family to have to endure? Right? Personally, I wouldn't have even waited that long. The family knows a lot more than we ever will right now. And they know a lot more than what they're even saying. So I think they are still trying to respect what law enforcement wants them to do. But I think they've given some certain hints on things too. Okay. And I don't blame Andy, Suzanne's brother, for being peeved off and saying, enough's enough. We're going west and we're going to find my sister. That's okay, Breed. I try not to. Some have slipped out of my mouth too, so I can't be a hypocrite. So that's why I allowed that. It wasn't a really, really bad word. I do enough of that in my real life. I don't want to bring that onto my channel because I've been known to do some cursing. Yeah, and if you guys have watched my prior reads, it's come out that he was a control freak. It has now come out through the family too. That's already came out in my reads. So I was really happy to see Andy, Suzanne's brother, validate that because I seen it. I seen it in the cards that this guy was a control freak. And I think that Suzanne found out some things, okay, that she'd had enough. And this is my opinion and my opinion only. And I've said it since just after she went missing. I think she wanted a divorce. I think she wanted a divorce, and Barry was having no part of that. Barry has been a control freak for a long time. With her asking for a divorce, Barry lost control. Control was being taken away from him, from somebody he had control over for what, 30 years? She'd had enough, I think. And now that the children were grown, you know what I mean? Like older, they're not youngins anymore. I think she'd had enough, and I think she asked for a divorce. And I think that sent Barry into a frizzy. I don't think she liked being where they were living. She was secluded, like you said, from family and friends. I don't think she liked it. I don't think she wanted to be there. You know what I mean? And I think, yes, I was just about to say that, Kat. She beat cancer twice. And I think Barry was hoping that the last bout that she had just beat of cancer, I think he was hoping that it killed her because that was easy peasy for him. But it didn't. She beat it again. And I think that's when she said, enough's enough. I'm out of this. I want a divorce. And I think it sent Barry over the edge because now he would have lost all control. He would have had to split assets. Like, no. And that's why I think it happened. I think Suzanne wanted out. So that's just my opinion. Barry, don't come after me. And I believe Barry does come into my lives or anything regarding him on my channel. So don't come after me with your lawyers, Barry. It's in my opinion and my opinion only, and I'm entitled to that. Right? DDD says, wonder how Barry will react with 1,000 peeps in his backyard. I wonder if he's going to allow them onto his property. A few things to watch out for. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to be shown when this happens regarding Barry. If he's not arrested before then. Kitty. Motive, money. Barry immediately went through the change of real estate in Indiana, bought more land. Barry immediately tried to get guardianship over Suzanne's assets. Immediately. And he's saying, okay, get this. This was going to be a back pocket thing, but I'm going to share it with you guys in my life. Here it is. Barry states that he asked for that guardianship for one reason only, and he's trying now to deflect, okay? He says The property in Indiana it was up for sale and was in the process of being purchased when this happened. So that's why he needed this guardianship, so he could finish the closing on that house. Okay, understood. Understood. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But then he turns around and buys property. Let that sit and fester. He buys property, piece of land, which he's going to build a house for his mother on. Explain that, Barry. Why are you doing stuff like this when your wife is only missing? You have no idea whether she's going to be found and brought back. Maybe she was kidnapped, like you said. Maybe she's going to escape from them, Barry. Why are you making these kind of decisions with you and your wife's money before she's found? She could be found, Barry, according to you. Boom, here it is. According to you, Barry, she could have been kidnapped. She could have been abducted. The mountain lion theory, Barry, that you gave us has been ruled out. Absolutely not going to happen. But, so let's go with your next theory, Barry. She's been abducted. And I hope you guys know right now I'm being facetious. Barry, she's been abducted. You don't know that she's dead. She could escape these abductors. Maybe it's human trafficking for sex. She could escape, Barry. She could come back to you, Barry, in a week, in 2 weeks, in a month, whatever it takes her until she escapes. Here's my story, Barry. I'm telling your story. So, Barry, if you think that she's been abducted and she could still be alive, why are you spending her money without her okay? She could be coming back, Barry. No, you're doing it because you know she's not coming back. You are making decisions that couples make. You're doing it on your own, Barry, because you know she's gone and she's not coming back. That's why you put the $200,000 reward out for her safe return. Not for her to be found or her remains to be found, Barry, so that she could even be brought back to her family, even if it's remains. You said for her safe return. And you knew that she was never going to be found safe. Son of a bitch. Ooh. I said that out loud. I'm sorry. Breed, exactly. Why would you go for guardianship? I could see for that one transaction where the house thing was, I guess, already in probate, and it was ready to. It was already agreed upon, him and Suzanne selling that house. She'd already agreed. So for guardianship over that sale and that sale alone, that soon, I understand. But then to go on to do the rest of what he's doing with buying land and building a house for his mother, if you believe that your wife was abducted, Barry, why would you be making those kind of financial decisions when your wife could be found from these abductors? No. He knows she's never coming back. Exactly, does. He knows she's never. That's why I'm saying about everybody went, oh, come on, he's putting up a $200,000 reward. Come on, you guys, take the blinders off. Look at the wording of that reward. Not that even her remains are found, so her family could at least have her remains and give her a proper burial. No, he doesn't care about that. He cares about this reward is only if she is brought back safe. Barry, why wouldn't that reward be, period, find my wife, dead or alive, find my wife? If you have information to find her either alive or her remains, you get a $200,000 reward. Why is it limited to her being brought back safe? Why, Barry? Because you're so concerned about money and you're such a control freak, because you know that with you stating brought back safe, you knew you'd never have to pay it out because you know she's not coming back safe. I hate getting in on these rants, you guys, but Crystal Dawn says, I have a lot of respect for defense attorneys. I do not have that respect for Chad's lawyer. He seems completely incompetent. Crystal, I have to disagree. John Pryor is one of the top-notch criminal defense lawyers. He's doing his job, although we don't agree with him defending such evil, vile people. He's sworn an oath to defend to the best of his ability, and he is a top-notch lawyer. I don't think he's incompetent. If you want to say about incompetent, take a look at Lori's lawyer. He has never done a criminal case like this to this magnitude, ever. Yes, DJ, you bring up a good point. Okay, Barry, if you can offer a $200,000 reward, why don't you give some money to help them do these in-depth search that they need to be done, since the sheriff's budget has gone way over in the search for your wife, the wife that you claim to love so much and just want home safe. Why don't you give them some money to help them do their job, to do it better than what they can do with what they have? Like I said, there's so much. Cat H says, what is your law background? I've worked in criminal cases with lawyers. I have also done private investigating. I also, now what I'm doing is process serving and skip tracing. I did at one time when I was still in college want to do forensics, but it was too much, couldn't do it. So I changed over to law, and I'm a paralegal. I'm not a lawyer, I'm a paralegal. But I have worked on some major cases with legal lawyers in criminal law. I also did some family law. Okay. PE has the info on their site to help Angie sign up. Search for September 23rd. Wants 1,000 people, boots on the ground. Yep. I hope they get 10 times more than what they're asking for boots on the ground, and I think they just may get it. I think the daughters are afraid to speak, if you want my honest opinion. I think they're really afraid to speak. Me too. Christine says, I wonder what her daughter thinks. Why are they being so quiet? You got to put yourself in those daughters' positions. Okay? And I'm gonna say it this way. If, and I'm saying if, this is my opinion, and I'm going to use my, if I was in the position of one of their daughters, okay? So say it's me. Say I'm like, I'm going to say I'm 18, 19 years old. And my mom has gone missing, similar to Suzanne. I see what's going on with my dad and how he's being accused in the news. I might tend to believe that my dad's done something to my mother. I may be scared for my own safety if I come forth with anything. On the other spectrum, I'm going to say I'm in the same position, and my dad's being accused, especially in the media, or is in sights of being thought, but I don't think my dad did it. I love both my parents, and at this point, I'm not convinced either way, so I'm going to remain silent. Okay, so I can see both sides why they're remaining silent. It could be that they either believe that their dad did this to their mother and are afraid because he's not been arrested. Okay, so it could be, and this is my opinion, it could be that they are afraid to say anything because they believe their dad did it. That could be the reason. And because he's not in jail, they could be very afraid to speak. Or they believe that their dad had nothing to do with this.
Please unlock your device for this.
Oh, there goes this Bixby thing again. Or, okay, on the other end of that, they could believe their dad had nothing to do with this. So they're being quiet like law enforcement has asked them to do, to not interfere with the investigation. So it's one or the other. They either believe their dad had nothing to do with it, and they're being quiet to protect the investigation so their mother can be found, or they believe their dad did it and they're scared to come forward because their dad is still out in the community. Could be either way. Or it could be right in the middle. They don't know what the hell to believe right now. Could be anything. Okay, so I'm not going to judge the girls by not saying anything. Crystal Dawn, that's been, no, they're not going to be tried together. For Lori and Chad, they are not going to be tried together. Actually, I believe John Pryor is trying to get a change of venue for Chad's trial to move it out of their area. Des wants to know, do you think he's threatened his daughters or that they're scared of him? Des, I just explained that, I think. I don't know. I don't know what the daughters believe. I'm not them, so I gave 3 different scenarios. Either they're right in the middle and they don't know what to believe, so they're just going to stay out of it and just pray for their mom and whatever, that she's found soon. They either believe he did it, or on the side of the middle, they either believe he did it and they're scared to come forward because he's not incarcerated, or they believe he didn't do it and they're standing by him. You know what I mean? I'm not going to judge the daughters on them not saying anything, because these are their parents. These are 2 peoples. One's being accused in social media and maybe being looked at by police. You know what I mean? So imagine yourself in these girls' position. Your dad's being pulverized in social media, maybe on the radar of LE, which I think very much is not a secret anymore. So they're thinking their dad did it, but their dad's telling them that he had nothing to do with it. And all they want is their mom. They got 2 parents that they love. All they want is their mom and their dad. So if they believe that their dad had nothing to do with this, they're going to remain silent, okay? But if they do believe their dad had something to do with it, they're going to also still, I would remain silent, because he's still out there. If he could do that to his mom, what can he do to us? If we say something to go against him, against this control freak, okay? So let's not, yeah, and the kids aren't living there. The younger one lives with the boyfriend's parents, and the older one is off in college. So I think they're kind of sort of, you know, yeah, I don't think the daughters should be brought into it. I mean, you got to understand that these are 2 still young girls that are, all they want is their mom. They want their mom. You know what I mean? Whether their dad did it or not, the bottom line is they still want their mom. Okay? Sorry about the banging, guys. I'm fixing my deck out front. I was hoping that they would have been done it yesterday, but it doesn't look that way. So if you hear me banging, I'm very sorry. So, anything else anybody wants to bring up that I have missed as I was going on my spew? Christine McGee says, I wonder what her daughters think. Why are they being so quiet? It's been over 3 months if my mom was missing. I just explained that, Christine. Yep, and you got to remember, you guys, everybody is going to react differently. There's no clear-cut way of how somebody is supposed to react when stuff like this happens, especially being a child. You have certain expectations of an adult and how they would react. Children are very different. And these girls were, I don't know. I don't want to say too much of what's been told because I've said I wouldn't mention certain things, but you gotta take it as an adult is going to act a lot different than a child. An adult having another adult go missing, an adult is going to react totally different than a child is going to react to that. Okay? That's all I'm going to say regarding that. I forgot to put lost in my sentence, lost one or two. Oh, D, I think I did that earlier too. I think I hit a delete message when it wasn't intended for that one. Yes, Kat, I agree. And you got to take into account that there's a little bit that I can, and I mean, it's public knowledge now that since Andy did come out with it already, I think I can say it, is that Barry had been a control freak for some time. Okay, and I already knew that. And it also came out in my reads before I even got that information that Andy just came out with. How controlling your dad was towards your mom. I'm sure that he was just as controlling over girls. And where would the girls' thought process right now with their mom being missing? Because I think their mom would have stuck up for them quite a bit, like, don't do that with the girls type thing. You know what I mean? I got to go back to my phone here because my chat seems to be lagging a bit. Okay, Kat says, my dad, my voice is about to go again too, you guys. Like I said, I wanted to try and get this out here. I'm supposed to be resting my voice, but what's the doctor know? I can do this. Okay, my dad was an alcoholic. I ran to college, but worried about mom and sister. Exactly, Kat. So you know how you felt in that situation, okay? Now put Barry and Suzanne's girls into this situation, okay? Oh, Des, thank you for that donation. Yes, you guys, feel free to send some donations in if you guys want. Please check your messages. I think I accidentally hit Christine McGee and don't know how to undo it. Christine, I'm so sorry. Okay, let me see. I got to do this on my phone because if I touch it on my computer, it'll get even worse. Let me see. I'm going back. I'm trying to find it. But I did read it. Okay, here it is. Oh, 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 oh. I can't undo it either. Okay, just give me a second, guys. I don't know if you guys are... Okay. Oh, thank you, Kat. Kat says, have really come to enjoy your site and your heart. Oh, thank you, Kat. I enjoy you guys too. Like you guys, without you guys, I'm nothing. Okay. So I really want to send that thanks right back to you guys. Like, and you guys keep me on my toes. Like, if I say something that is not on point, like I might have got some misinformation somewhere, I expect you guys to call me out, okay? Because I really do, before I stamp my name on something, especially on these lives, and say something, it's because I already know, okay? I'm not one to go with the gossip stuff. I try to keep that off the channel. I will discuss it and say that's what's going around, but that's not validated yet. Thank you. Okay, so that's another thing I wanted to tell you guys. I was all excited yesterday. I got a bonfire saying that they have my mug up. I go to the mug. Please do not go on there and order the mug yet. Although it looks beautiful, the wings and everything do look beautiful on it. If you go to the back part, if you click, there's a little thing. You can see the front and the back part of the mug. You click on the other part, and it shows you the back where it says "Above and Beyond Ancestor Readings." They've cut off the A and the S at the end. So I tried to chat live with them, and I had a 2-day wait. So I did put a big notice on there, please do not order this mug yet, because the A in above has been cut off on the back. So hopefully I'm going to get that resolved in the next day or so, whenever they get back to me, because I can't, now that the mug is there and it's in a campaign, I can't change it. They have to change it. So what I think they're going to do is they're going to take that down, and they're going to make me start over with it. But it's going to be that and masks that I know so far. And I think in all of this, I think that the shirts and sweatshirts are still available. If you want to go to that link, I think they are still available. Because the new campaign hasn't kicked in yet, they had to put a hold on it. So I think they've extended that campaign. I don't know. I can't check it that way to see if it's still available. So Dee, maybe you can do that for me after, is go to my bonfire and see if the shirts and that are still available to be purchased. And let me know what you see on there about the mugs. You don't have to do it right now. We can do that later in talk when you call me or whatever. Yes, and if you guys would rather send to PayPal, feel free. And I want to thank, I don't know if that person is here, and I don't know if they want their name mentioned. But there was a donation that came in to do that read on, oh, I don't have my book. Hang on a sec. Where is my book? Okay, on Lisa Prescott, somebody sent via PayPal a donation to help get that read up quickly. Okay, so I know who the person is. I don't know if they want me to let you guys know, but that person sent a nice donation through PayPal to, I went shopping at your store. You did, DDD? When did you go shopping? Yes, and I want to thank, I know they're gone to print, all the ones that did order the shirts and sweatshirts. I've been told they have gone to printing. With the COVID, there's a little bit longer wait, but with the shipping and all that, by the time we get it, but it has gone to printing. They have gone to printing. DDD, when did you go to my store? What did you see on my store? When did you go? That's what I'm trying to find out, if they put my old campaign back up where they're short sleeve, long sleeve shirts, and sweatshirts. Did you see that? Oh, cool, Daring D. Thank you. Okay, so that you can still buy them until this new, thank you for that, D. Okay, so if you guys, I know there was a few people that were upset with not being able to get the shirts. So they're still there and available, you guys. Okay. Boom, boom. Okay, I'm getting text messages. Shirt, sweater, and long sleeve shirt are still available. Perfect. Sorry, you guys, and my chat is lagging so bad. So I gotta go on my phone here. Okay. Oh, DDD, thank you, darling, for that $10 sticker. Thank you so much. It's very much appreciated. And like I said, you guys, all the super chats and super stickers all go back into me bringing lives like this, okay? That's what they are used for. And I really appreciate them because it helps for me to be able to do this for you guys. And to also put up the free public reads that are requested. Okay, and other videos saying that you want this read, that read, this read, that read. I want to say this respectfully. I can't do every single read, okay? I tend to stick to the ones for the free, the ones that have a lot of news coverage, okay? I'm not saying that I don't do other ones, like the Lisa Prescott one hasn't been in the news forever, but I did it because there was a lot of interest in that read, okay? I can't do public free reads for everybody, okay? So they have to be kind of like a major case, okay? Private free read, private reads regarding a loved one that you've lost or need answers on are available. You can email me regarding those. They are private paid reads. So if you want a private paid read, you can email me your information. And like I said, I've got a list right now and it's fairly long. So you guys requesting a read. I think I'm at August 26th or 27th right now, requests. And as I do the requests next in line, I will send you an email saying that you're up for the read. So if you've just requested a read yesterday, just to let you know, it's going to be a bit because right now I am doing requests for private reads from back on the 26th and 27th. Oh, thank you, Des. I really appreciate it. So DDD says, yes, just came from the store and you do have the t-shirts and sweatshirts. Yoo-hoo! Great. Okay, so they're extending that campaign because they haven't straightened out my new campaign yet, which is mugs, masks, and there's something else I forget. But I know the mugs and masks were requested and I know they are in that campaign. It's just they're trying to get that sorted and it was sorted, but when they put it up, when I check the back of the mug, the angel wings are on the front. When I check the back of the mug, in my name, the above and beyond ancestor readings, and it's not huge, okay, you guys. So it's not something overbearing. It's in small print on the back side of the mug. They cut off the A and they cut off the S at the end. So I put a stop to it. I said, no, I'm not. You know me. I'm no, unless it's perfect, I'm not putting it on for my angels of truth. I want them to get perfect. And cutting my A off above and the S off the end is not acceptable. So that's why I put a halt to it. So they made a boo-boo. But I will let you guys know when they are going to be, right, DDD, I put a halt on them because they messed up in the above and beyond ancestor reading on the back of the mug. So when that's fixed, it will show. And I will let you guys know when the mugs and mass and the other item is up. I don't want you guys going, okay, so you can't see any mugs or anything on there. Is that what you're telling me? Yes. Okay. So Darren D just put up email only for paid personal readings. Absolutely. Or unless I have asked you specifically to send me an email regarding something. I think there was somebody earlier that asked if they could send me an email, and I said yes. So if you ask me and I say yes, send me an email regarding that, then go ahead and send that email. Otherwise, unless I ask for you to send me it, please, only for paid personal readings. DDD, did you just put up another $10 super sticker, DDD? If you, I don't know if that's because I'm looking on my phone, I see one, and I just looked at my screen and I seen one. If you sent another one, I appreciate that so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. It's very much appreciated. Okay, GJ says, do you know if Andy can get cadaver dogs for the search, if those can be available to him? DJ, I know that there's a lot of, I'm going to say, people that have offered a lot of different things that to be used on that search. So I know, oh, Darlene, okay. I've made a mistake calling somebody by their real name, and that I don't do that unless I'm told that I can. Okay, so Darlene, I know that people have come forward and offered their services regarding dogs, sonar, radar, drones. I don't know if I was supposed to say that. Oops. Dang it. Oh, okay. You guys didn't hear that. Oops. Oops. Anyway, what I'm going to say is there's been a lot of people that have offered a lot of different services to help with that search that Andy Mormon is doing for find his sister. And I am going to say that Andy was asking for 1,000 boots on the ground. I think he's going to have a lot more than that. And I think there's going to be a concern with getting on to the property. Where Suzanne and Dum Dum lived. Okay, because he can refuse to let them onto the property. So it's going to be interesting. Darlene says, when will mugs, masks, etc. come in? I just explained that, Darlene, that they were ready to launch. And I went over them for the last time before hitting launch, and I caught the error that they did with the name above and beyond ancestor readings in the back. It's just going to be one thin line, you guys, on the back of the mug. The print's going to be very small. It's like all on one line. It's not taking up the whole back of the cup or anything. So, you know, I don't want the name to overpower so much as the angel wings. The angel wings have got to be there. That's my number one. As soon as they fix that error on the name on the back, where they cut off the A and the S, then they will be available, and I'm hoping either today or tomorrow. Ah, That's an idea. Okay, let me write that down. I gotta write it down. You know why, Darlene? Who said that? Darlene did. You know why I gotta write it down, Darlene? Because if I don't, I'm gonna forget. Okay, so you guys would be interested in that? So would you guys be interested in shirts with angels of truth on them? You guys give me just a second here. Sorry about that, you guys. It's my daughter that doesn't matter how old they get, they still don't listen to you. Okay. Okay, Patricia Anderson says Civil Air Patrol do ground searches and have the training for organized boots on the ground. Like I said, I know of some things that are going to be there. But I know that there's been quite a few things that have been offered to Andy in the search that's going to be happening. Yeah, just they may have all of that, Darlene. Dogs, radar, GPS, etc. Yep, that's how I'm going to say it. They may have it all there. We'll have to wait and see. Or they may say something about that. But I would rather that come from Andy himself when he decides he wants to release that, what he's got, because I think they kind of want to, I don't want to say keep on the down low because they do. They want everybody out there that they can get to help search. But there's also things that they don't want out there yet because whoever's responsible is still out there, right? So it's a touchy situation we got going on. Oops, and there goes my pen. Okay, so is there anything else you guys want to discuss while we're here and alive? Because I think after this live, I think I have a couple of readings that I've got to do that were promised. And you know me and my promises, I keep them. I have to get those out of the way, and then I am going to have to take a day or two to rest my voice. And what the doctor says, they gave me a spray, they gave me some something that makes me a little loopy, antihistamine. It makes me tired and loopy. I need to take 1 to 2 days to myself to get this throat past just, you know, when they say, make sure you finish all your meds, because just because you're feeling better doesn't mean it's gone. Well, I started feeling better and then jumped back into this and I'm feeling it again. I didn't listen. That's it. And a histamine. Yeah. Katie, I wish I could tell you that, girl. That's why if you look in my, on my page, in my comments section, I put a post today regarding that. They haven't released anything yet. That's how we ended up starting talking about Suzanne when I put this regarding Chad, because Chad's lawyer filed a motion to dismiss all Chad's charges. Got through that. I asked if you guys wanted me to talk about the post that I put up earlier regarding the remains. Oh, thank you, Darlene, again for $5 super chat. Thank you, thank you. You guys are going to have to give a big shout out to Darlene here, who is DDD Shaw. I can't say it. DDD. You guys give a big shout out to her because she's done a few super chats here, and that's going to help bring more free public reads. She's really throwing some chats behind that to help bring them. Yes, I got chewable vitamin C that I got yesterday. I picked them up yesterday when I went and picked up that spray stuff. There's this spray stuff that it's by prescription. I've also got spray for Rhinocort, something or other for the sinuses, because on top of the ear infection and that, you guys, the allergies are starting to kick in now too with this time of the year. So it's like, yeah. And it's really irritating my throat. As you know, your nose and your ears are connected. This is what the doctor said. So anything draining from my sinuses and ear things, because that's all connected, goes down your throat. And the more that I'm talking and everything else, it's irritating my throat more than what it is by the infection that I got going on. Oh. So. Oh. And my daughter is, you think by their 30s they would realize, stop it, mom's busy. Katie says, hope you feel better. Oh. Thank you, Des. Katie says, hope you feel better. Keep up the nice work. Thank you, Katie. And thank you, Des. Des says, take some time for you and get some much needed rest for yourself. We need you healthy and feeling better. We love you. Oh, thank you, Dee. Love you too, girl. And I do. I really appreciate all my subs, okay? All of you, my angels of truth. I appreciate each and every one of you. Yes, I got to take that vitamin C. I also got the emergency. I got the chewables and I got the emergency, but I don't want to overdose on vitamin C either. I can't take Dayquil. There's ingredients in the Dayquil that I'm allergic to. Oh, thank you, Des. And I appreciate all of you guys too. So know that. Okay, so if we're done, I'm going to get off the live. I appreciate you all for being here, for being part of, you know, not only my channel, but being part and taking part in the chats and everything and keeping me on my toes. Hi, KCB. Yes, you caught us just as we're ending. Only caught your live. I haven't been getting your notifications. Hope that you're feeling better. Drink tea. I love the Buddha blend teas. No, I'm not on any heart meds. Katie, much needed rest. I just have a lot of allergies to meds too, like penicillin, sulfates, codeine, stuff like that. No, the doctor said Advil is one of the worst that you can take because it rots your stomach. He said to stick to the Tylenol, which is better on your internal organs. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys get back to your things that you were doing. I am going to go. I'm due for my next round of meds too. And I want to jump in a nice hot steamy shower because the doctor said that too, to put the shower on really hot, steam up the room, and then go and sit in the room for a bit. That's going to help with the sinuses. So I'm going to do that too before I do my sprays. So I got to get doing that too. Okay, so you guys, I thank you all for being here. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button. And yes, the notifications, I've been told that you have to unclick notifications and then re-click them and make sure you hit the all bell. Okay? So if you have notifications on, turn them off, then turn them back on, clicking the all button. That's what I've been told regarding notifications, okay? Okay, I thank you, Des, for being here, girl. I will probably talk to you later on, maybe before bed. I got a few things I've got to get done here. So, okay, so thank you again, you guys, for being here. Thank you for taking part. Thank you for being part of my channel. I appreciate you. I love you. And I will be watching, even though I may not be interacting a lot. I'm going to give myself 2 days rest. I'm going to try and still be in the comments, checking the comments, etc. I've had to remove a couple people that were really ignorant and said some really nasty things to some of the other people commenting. I will remove you right away. No ifs, ands, or buts. Gandhi. Do not do that on my channel, please. Okay? And do not, please be kind. If you have nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. Don't threaten people. I had somebody threaten somebody else in my comment section. I will not stand for that. I will automatically, never mind, delete the comment. You're gone. You're deleted from my channel. Sorry, but no. You're not going to treat people on my channel that way. Okay? So don't think that you're going to come in here and threaten any of my subscribers because of something they may have put in the comments. It's not going to be tolerated. You will be gone. Yes, Dee, if you see anything, please, you got my home phone number and everything right away. Message me. Please. Okay, so with that, you guys, I will never allow anybody to disrespect any of you. You are all entitled to your opinions. But I will not stand for anybody threatening, and this was a bad threat, threatening anybody else in my comments who's on my channel. I will not stand for that. I have a big heart. I'm a heart of gold, but push certain buttons and the angel wings come off. Okay? And that's one of them. Do not threaten anybody on my channel. Okay? So thank you again. Thank you, Dee. You're the best. Love you, girl. And we will talk soon. Okay? Bye-bye for now. And thank you again, you guys, for being here. I love you to death. Please stay safe. Okay? Bye-bye for now.